Welcome to Positive Waves. My name is Matthew Collinson, and this is my great friend.
I'm Joseph Soma.
And today, Joe came up with a great subject to talk about, and that's about what motivates you, which I'm really glad you brought this up, Joe, because honestly, the past few days have been kind of rough, and I'm like finding that motivation within to keep on doing what I do. So I love it.
Yeah,
what brought it up for you?
For me, it's been something that's been said to me quite often over the last month or so, and it never really hit me because my answer was always, I'm doing what motivates me. And I talk about how I've got so much on my plate with things that have gone on recently, and they're like, well, maybe you should get stuff off your plate, maybe you should just stop doing things. And I'm like, it motivates me though. Like, it's stuff I love doing. I don't want to not do these things, like working, all of these projects I'm working on. Yeah, it's stressful and overwhelming, and it's those range of emotions, but it's also that labor of love. It's also seeing that vision of that final product or that final production or that final outcome in my mind's eye. Like, it is what motivates me. So it's like, when we were discussing what do we want to talk about today, and it just hit me. It's like, well, what motivates you? And I think that's something that's very important for us as a human to realize, because we're constantly being told, do this, do that, enjoy this, enjoy that, and we may not always enjoy it. It may not be a passion. It may not be something that motivates us. It may not be something we even love doing, but we may do it just because we know it brings others joy. And that may be something that motivates you, is the ability to bring others joy. But then you got to look at yourself. Are you all right with yourself, or are you trying to hide from things that you don't want to work through or deal with? So yeah, this is a great topic that can go many different directions.
That makes a lot of sense. I see that, and I feel that too, because I do know that we have like intrinsic and extrinsic motivation, right? The intrinsic motivation is that motivation that comes from within every time. It's like that purpose you find, that light you find, that excites you, that makes you want to do something. And then you've got the external motivations. It's like, I know if I do this, my family will be healthier, better, happier. I know if I do this, I'll make some money and stuff, and that's cool. I know if I do this, then I will be happier because XYZ. But the problem with, I think all of this comes down to the fact that we need to be happy right in the moment.
Exactly.
It's never the cause of something else. Either you have happiness within you. Well, everyone has it within them, but are you accessing it?
Right. And that goes kind of to the whole thing the other day with, I think we were talking with Ray, where he maybe it was Mary Frances, who brought up Robin Williams. Robin Williams, he spent all of his life making other people laugh because he had no clue how to deal with his own traumas, troubles. I didn't know him personally, so I don't know exactly what he was going through, but we all know that he had some pretty severe depression. He had some mental stuff that he really struggled with the majority of his life. And he spent his whole life making people smile. Was that what motivated him? Probably, but I know he'd still be here today if he was able to talk openly and vulnerably about the things that were going on within him.
Right. And I know we've touched on this a bit too, as far as the subject matter, because it's sad because of our society, the way our society currently is, or it's getting better, I feel, but we're still on that cycle of.
It's like an upswing. We're slowly coming up out of the shit and starting to have that recognition. So yeah, it is getting there. But yeah, it's the whole what motivates you is why I brought it up, because it doesn't matter what some of us go through. We don't want to deal with our shit. So we find those things that make us feel like we're motivated. But ultimately it does. It comes to within. It comes to that self-love. All right, if you're in that unconditional love for yourself, it's easy to know what motivates you because you feel it deeply. But when you're lost in that trauma, it's difficult to tell what motivates you. And any type of thing that brings you joy, it's like, oh, that must motivate me. It made me smile. And yeah, for a sense that helps, but is it truly what motivates you?
So let's do a fun little exercise then. What do you say if I say, what motivates you, Joe? What are you motivated by?
Trying to figure out how to put it all into words because I do. There's a lot that motivates me, and like I said at the beginning of the call, I'm doing everything I do because it motivates me. But how to wrap it all up into a little sentence? I think what it boils down to is what motivates me with everything I'm doing right now is it's taking those experiences, those knowledges, the wisdom, the things that I thought were at one point useless knowledge because I couldn't physically do anymore. And I'm able to give, I'm able to teach, I'm able to show. As you know, I'm working with the robotics community, and that right there is amazing. I get to teach these high school kids how to use power tools, how to like what a screwdriver is. Some of them didn't know what a screwdriver is, let alone a regular or Phillips head. So to take the knowledge that I thought at one point in my life was totally useless and now have a purpose for it, for me that's the motivation. It's passing on that wisdom, and these kids actually want to hear it because they're there to learn, they're there to take part. It's the same thing with the Reiki. I love being able to share that energy with others, and so many tell me I've got a huge energy. So it just kind of makes me want to share it even more because it helps me feel better as well as helping others in the process. So that's another great motivation for me. Trying to think of what else, because I know there's
Yeah.
projects I'm working on, like even the breath work, with how much the breath work has helped me go from the mental mind into the heart. That's been a great motivation to help me find that peace to keep going from a heart center and being able to get out of that mind. So that's another wonderful motivation. That's something we all can do. I'm doing it right now talking to you, but having that conscious breath really really helps.
Yeah, I think centering yourself to find your motivation is kind of an important piece here. And to center yourself, again, we've talked about this kind of thing, which is like meditation and breath work and that kind of thing. Exercise also for your body because it settles the body and relaxes the body. That's why I think it's so important to have some kind of regimen that you do, some kind of habit that you've gotten into, or some kind of exercise that you love to do, even better. Like go for a walk, go for a hike. I don't care what it is. It doesn't matter what it is as long as you love it. Mm-hmm. Now, when you start doing it with other people too, that's another key factor as far as finding motivation, because I know that when I show up to this, you're going to be here, and I know that I'm showing up for you, and that makes me feel great too, because now I'm working with somebody towards a cause of sending forth positive waves in this case. Now that can be with any project, any thought process, though. So when you start finding other people who get on board with what it is that you're thinking, what it is that you're wanting, what it is that you want to change in the world, for instance, or how you want to serve the world, then it becomes almost, I think it becomes a lot easier when you surround yourself with people of the same cause. And that helps to motivate us. What do you think of that?
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, we can walk the road alone, but it's going to take a while. It can get lonely. You might get lost in your own thoughts and not see the easiest solution as to where, like you and I working together as a team, there's days I'm not fully with it. And like you're right there with the guidance and support, and vice versa. It's great to have that support. It's great to have that team environment, and it makes things flow much better. It's not you bouncing it off a wall and smacking yourself in your own head with it. It's bouncing it back and forth and creating great ideas until that aha moment hits. You don't always get that alone. So yeah, that ability to work with others is truly amazing.
Yeah, I was doing a post the other day on social media, and I was realizing that, we've had quite a few guests already, and like I'm getting traction now where I'm having people like ask here and there. And it's really nice to see that people want to serve this world in a way that really helps their heart to thrive. they have found a definite purpose. They have found that burning desire. I think that for initial finding part of it's the hard part because first you have to unlearn a lot of stuff. I feel you have to empty your cup.
Yeah, that's I mean that's kind of like the shadow work where you have to unlearn these things that you followed for so long. Like you were talking earlier about doing the right habits. Well, until you feel into that habit and realize this isn't serving my highest good or my highest purpose, you don't really realize you need to do away with it. So being able to make that switch and recognize it is a beautiful thing as well.
Yeah, I agree. I think as we switch ourselves up and as we start to release some of that excess baggage, some of those hard points in our life and move forward into those good habits, that also helps to build the motivation. Welcome, Ray. Today we're talking about what motivates you. How are you doing today?
Hey guys, really good, man, really good. So thank you for having me on. I saw the topic in the Facebook group chat and thought, Mike, I could say something about that. There's a lot of things that motivate me. So
Awesome. Welcome.
cool. So anyway, yeah, do you want me to talk a little bit about some of those things, or you want to
Yeah.
lead into something? Or okay,
I was just asked Joe what motivates him. So now I'm going to ask you, what motivates you?
yeah, that's a great question, man. Through life, in my younger years, pain motivated me initially. Pain was like such a great motivator, honestly. The gift of desperation, people call it the God moment, God, gift of desperation, and that honestly like motivated me to start my path. As a lot of you guys know, and some maybe watching the path down recovery or the process of recovery. And so fast forward through all that mess, now today, current present day, what motivates me is really serving others, heart and mind, like being aligned. Once those are aligned, which recently has been happening for me, um, and I follow that calling that maybe I've denied for a long time or just wasn't sure of, or a mixture of things of both. Started to do that and started to see some results and like, hey, I can do this. That's motivating. Or helping somebody. I'll just use myself in my current situation as examples, but like, recovery and recovery groups, like helping one person and I'm saying that, my life's starting to get better. Like this was my last straw. This was the last thing I was going to try. And I was just going to give up on it all for life. And I came and saw you and you helped me. That motivates me. That really motivates me. And yeah, I think also, personal development, studying something positive, whether that's spiritual material, the Bible, Think and Grow Rich, some kind of book like that, that motivates me. And I think we need to feed our spirits daily, with something, because there's so much negativity in the world that if we're not putting whatever putting in, we're going to get out. Right. So we got to put good stuff in, and that motivates me. And seeing other people and what they're doing and their triumphs and victories and how they overcame things, that motivates me. But so yeah, those are a few things that motivates me. But then motivation, you don't always have motivation. So motivation takes you to a point, but I think desire, determination, persistence, and some other attributes will carry you past motivation.
Yeah, that makes sense. Joe, I know you had a card pull ready. Could we do that real quick for you? Because I know you got to get moving.
Yeah, sure. So I pulled up for the motivation topic today. Make better fucking choices. If you are pissed at where you are, then stop taking yourself there. I can't say it any better than that.
Dang, that was good. I love that. Now I'm going to go back to Ray here because that was actually really perfect. We were just talking about that too, Ray. I was like, when people find that burning desire, find that purpose, that motivation that you get from that daily kind of helps to excite you and helps to wake you up and helps to make you move and help even when you're feeling down. Like, I've had a pretty rough week, but I'm, still want to show up for sending out positive waves to the world. Why do I do this? It's not like I'm getting paid for this, really, at least not yet. And that's fine because I just want to, like, that's my goal. That's my mission. That's my thought process is I want to send a positive wave around the world. How do you do that? There's so many ways you can do that. You can serve the world in any way you want. You have used your path, your darkness to motivate you to help serve people in that darkness. That light that you shine, epic. Same for Joe. He used his pain as well. And I know I used my pain to help other people grow through their problems. And I love that feeling every time somebody says, "Oh man, you just motivated me to do something." I'm like, awesome. That's exactly what I'm going for. Like, I want people to grow and be and think and do and just love life. How do you do that? See, you find that motivation, you find that purpose that you were just talking about. I love the Think and Grow Rich book. I know the Bible has a ton of lessons, Bhagavad Gita. I mean, you can name hundreds upon hundreds, if not thousands of books that provide these lessons, these motivations, and that can help to motivate that internal beast within you.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah, the internal beast. I sometimes reference Jordan Peterson because I just love his intellectualism, but like I think I talked about on one of our previous podcasts where he says, become a monster and then learn how to control it. And that's one of the biggest attributes that makes a man good, because how can you be good if you can't be dangerous, but you control it, So it's something else if you just are good, but you can't be dangerous. So he says a lot of really good things. And I was talking about the motivation kind of wearing out piece, my girlfriend has this little thing that sits on her dresser that says inspiration is the greatest gift you can give someone. And I just always thought about that. I didn't, that was the first, when I met her and saw that's the first time I saw that or heard that quote. And I thought about that. I've been thinking about that for years. And I'm like, I kind of see how that could be true. Like, because when you inspire somebody, what they can do with that, they could change the world. So that inspiration could really be the greatest gift you can give someone. So that's what I'm trying to do. That's what you're trying to do. That's what Joe's trying to do, I believe, is to inspire people to create positive change, send out those positive waves. So yeah, that's what it is, man.
Yeah, I agree, man. I mean, I think that's so neat. Like you had that with your girlfriend quote. Can you say that quote one more time for me?
Inspiration is the greatest gift you can give someone.
Yeah. And I've seen that. I've seen it over and over again, especially now more recently. Actually, a lot of my stuff's coming to fruition. I love watching people grow into that inspiration that I've been able to help them get to at some point. And when they begin to shine that light, like there's no greater feeling. Like when you see somebody take off and launch in their direction that they wanted to go in the first place.
Yeah.
It takes years to get there.
Yeah. I know.
Like, how long have we been talking about your recovery community, right? It's been a while, like, right?
Yeah, 2 years, and I've been working on things with it prior to that, prior to even meeting you. So yeah, yeah, and most of that, let's be really honest, at least with myself, has been fear or throwing myself a pity party or sitting here for weeks on end and misery, like, oh man, why aren't things working out? What am I going to do? The anxiousness, the fear, doubt, and worry, which only is, turns out it's just ignorance. And the key to it is knowledge and understanding coupled with faith and application. You've got the key to freedom right there, So I just didn't always know that. And even when I did know it, sometimes, recently, a huge hole I've been climbing out of has been my diet. And my diet was actually really like leading into me being depressed and not feeling good, no motivation. I was just eating way too many carbs and sugars. And I cut out 90% of them in comparison to what I was eating. And man, I've been feeling so good. And so sometimes it's confusing. It's like I know I'm a good person, or I know I have a gift. I know I have valuable experience or something to give that's valuable. But why do I feel like this? And sometimes for me, I'm like, I don't even have a reason to feel like this. Like life's pretty good, you know? And and then I switch my diet and I'm like, oh, it's like a chemical thing going on inside my body. And, you know, again, like our minds, if we put junk in, we get junk out. It's the same with, I mean, you have to take care of nutrition is so huge. I mean, we could do a whole podcast on that if you haven't
Oh yeah.
already. But yeah.
Oh yeah, could easily, man. No, I agree with you, man. It's what we put in and what we put out. Like I agree. I have the same problem. Like I have a chip problem. I got on my chips.
I get
And
it. They're
occasional sugars. I get it, man. They're good. But I do know that when I find myself like I know when I'm feeling that way, there's something up. And it's normally a simple solution like that.
Yeah.
And it's like I have this conversation with my kids too. It's like they're not. They're like, I'm tired. I'm not feeling well. I'm like, well, are you sleeping? No, I'm staying up all night playing video games, eating junk, doing
Yeah.
things. I'm like, well, why do you think you feel crappy?
Yeah. That's good that you like help them gain that awareness too, because they might not really get it at that age. You feel like you're just supposed to be feeling good all the time.
Yeah, you say that, but they don't enjoy it, and normally it devolves into not fun things. But and that happens. Like we're all people, we're all human. So I have to work on my own self as well, as much as they have to work on themselves, and as much as you have to work on yourself, as much as my wife has to work on herself. It's just like we all have to do that because if we don't take care of ourselves first, we can't take care of other people. So I like that airplane analogy with the masks and all that.
Yeah, right. Yep. Maybe you should
And
say that. Maybe you should say it for people that don't know what that is.
yeah. So, when you're on a flight, if your plane's going down and they're losing oxygen, masks fall out. They tell you to put your mask on first because if you can't breathe, you can't really help others around you to breathe. Like your child, for instance, is sitting next to you. Then you put the mask on your child after yourself, kind of thing, to make sure that you guys are whole.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of like that overflow your own cup before you're pouring into other people's cups, you know, the metaphorical cup of your soul or, you know, your spirit. It's the same thing because I used to be the guy, like very giving, a people pleaser, really, like to the extreme where it hurt me. And my cup was negative. It was just so empty. It was just bone dry, you know. And I was trying to pour into other people, and I could pour some into others, but it was killing me, you know. So I learned I had to like for some years I had to be selfish with my recovery and you know building myself up, getting my head right, all kinds of stuff, my physical body and once I got to a point, then I could start helping others, and it's not like stealing from my cup, you know. So yeah, for sure, same idea.
Also, back to the affirmation. That's right. I wanted to talk more about that affirmation because it's so important. When you have something just sitting there, you don't even realize it, but you're seeing it every day. You're seeing it all the time. So it's constantly being put in your head. This is where affirmations come into play, by the way, people. So if you haven't done any kind of affirmation work, whether it's writing them down and just looking at them, whether it's saying them out loud, I mean, saying them out loud has a different power, but so does writing them. So do both.
Yes. Yep.
The
Oh
and
yeah.
scenario.
Yeah, I started doing affirmations like serious. Like I've done them before, like in different treatment centers. They have you do it every morning and stuff. But I started on my own really seriously like 2 years ago, and I haven't been consistent with it every single day, but I've done pretty well with it. But man, I learned that I always thought before the affirmations that I had to have others pick me up when I was low. And I learned through the affirmations I could actually pick myself up, you know, in conjunction with spirit, you know, or source. I mean, it's not all just me. It's never all just us. So there's this power that helps us. And so, you know, consciousness, mind, awareness, it helps. And um you got to be careful though, because I've seen that those affirmations can come to be and come to pass much faster than you may expect, and you actually get what you write down, what your affirmation is. And on the flip side, and man, I don't feel good. I'm not good enough. This is never going to work. That's an affirmation, just a negative affirmation. And you got to be careful because that's going to and it could happen the same day. So yeah, affirmations, there is so much power. People overlook it. I get people that laugh at me when I tell them to say something good about themselves in the mirror, like that won't ever, like, okay, next, and they just want to totally dismiss it. And I'm like, no, I mean, really, like open-mindedness is so key. And in like NA, they have this saying, the how of the program, HOW, honesty, open-mindedness, and willingness. With these, we are well on our way. And you just got to be open-minded, try new things, even if it sounds ridiculous. I mean, our current awareness got us where we're at. And so it's going to take something that we don't understand to get us to where we want to go. And so it's like, well, we got to expand our awareness. It's not going to be in harmony with your current, thought process. It's not. It's going to feel weird, stupid, uncomfortable, but that's what you got to, lean into to grow, to get to the place you want to be. And so yeah, affirmations, I preach that all the time. It's just so incredibly powerful that, I mean, I can't even put it into words and express how powerful affirmations can be if used correctly.
Yeah, I agree. That self-talk is so important. Like how we talk to ourselves is just crazy to watch. Like I still catch myself, being like, oh, why are you even trying? Why are you even doing this? What are you doing? Come on, I know you're better than this, blah, 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 all the not great stuff that we talk to ourselves about. Normally it's worse language than that. Because we
Right.
always use the worst stuff on ourselves. That's what's even like more crazy.
I know. I feel you, man. I've been guilty of that myself. Lately, I've been like doing pretty good with that. But like I said, that mind heart connection, like alignment,
Mhm.
it like has been. I'm starting to not even think about those things, and through so many years of practice, like, okay, if I focus only on the goal, the obstacle must give way, and just like focusing on where I'm going instead of looking back and looking at the current present results and letting that dictate and guide what I do and how I act and think. That's never going to get me anywhere. I gotta act, feel, and think like it's that thing I want, that goal, the wish fulfilled is already here now and done. Creation is finished, right? Creation is finished. Energy just changes form now. So it's already here somewhere. And if we can think it in our mind, we can hold it in our hand. And so I just try to focus on that stuff, man. And because we've talked offline, and I've had months where I've just been in a slump, like cannot seem to pull myself out. Like, what is wrong? This is not, and we know, like, that's not me. I think we all have that innate feeling inside, like, this is not me.
Mhm.
And but why? And like I said, diet. Are you exercising like often, like at least 3 times a week, at least, or something little every day, like go take a half-hour walk every day, something, the affirmations, who is around you, who's your family that you're associating with, friends. I mean, are they people who are complaining and doing the same thing, going to the bars, or just really negative, or their life's a mess and it's always woe is me, that victim mentality? I mean, because all those things are feeding into us, and we're becoming that and staying that. And so we got to really look at it. It's possible, and it's just really, it's simple. It's very simple, but not always easy. Anyone who says it's easy probably hasn't done it themselves yet.
Agreed. Agreed. I still struggle with it, so I feel it
Oh,
for
sure, sure.
sure. Uh, did you
Down.
ever read? Did you ever read the book "Wishes Fulfilled" by Wayne Dyer?
I have not. I haven't dove into any of Wayne Dyer's
You
stuff.
love him, dude. He's got some good thoughts, but that's a good book. And since you said the wishes fulfilled thing, I was like, that's perfect. Like that matches straight
Yeah.
up. It's that same thought process about getting in touch with, you can call it God, you can call it source, you can call it whatever you want to call it. I really don't care. There's an energy that permeates through all of us that connects us all, like that's
Yes.
all
Yes.
around us all the time. And this is where the abundance factor and all the other stuff comes in. Everything's here equally. It's up to us what we decide to pick out of it. We just didn't know that until more recently, or at least I didn't.
Yeah. And there's actually scientific evidence that like visual scientific evidence that there is this cosmic web that connects all things. You should probably, that'd be cool if you could find like a clip of that and put it in here, cut it in or something. But it's wild, man. I mean, there's this invisible field that connects everything, and it's true. So
Yeah. Do you have a link or anything you can send me and I can just peek at it,
I
or we could
will
just put it in the description?
I will look it up. I will
Cool.
find something for you. Yeah, I've seen
That'd be
it in a
cool.
couple places. Gaia, some of the Gaia videos had it.
Gaia. Yeah. I
Yeah,
like
yeah,
them.
there. Yeah, me too. And there was another. I think there was a YouTube video that I saw recently that also had it in there. So, or a short or something. But I'll try to find something and send it your way.
Thank you for joining us on Positive Waves today. Joe had to take off a little bit early today, but thank you for joining me today, Ray. I appreciate you being here, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. It's been great. It's good times.
But we're going to have some changes over on our Patreon soon, so look up on that. And we're going to have some fun creating some more material for you guys, and we look forward to our future events. So thank you for joining us today, and have a great day.